There are a lot of lovely places to visit on this planet, from the underwater river caves in the Philippines to the bustling arcades of Japan. But there are some places that, rather than leaving a warm, fuzzy feeling inside, leave a feeling of dread and despair. Here's a list of the creepiest places to visit. And a quick disclaimer, I am not the best at other enunciations, so sorry if I get stuff wrong. Number 10. Torture Museum, Amsterdam, Netherlands. Getting down and gritty in Amsterdam, they have a museum dedicated to nothing but torture. This museum has actual instruments of torture used on prisoners during the Middle Ages. There, you can admire the collection of over 100 objects of torture work, up close and personal. From swinging iron cages to their heretic forks. Number 9. Suicide Forest, Mount Fuji, Japan. Be wary if you ever enter the forest that lays at the bottom of Mount Fuji, Japan. Suicide Forest is well known for being eerily quiet, and there seems to be little to no wildlife inside. No wonder the people there would think that it would be haunted by evil spirits and demons. Hikers have been known to get lost inside the forest and have started to use tape to mark the way around. There is an annual body hunt done by local volunteers where almost every year there are at least 100 bodies found. And if you want to know more about this one, I actually did a video on it on my main channel, titled The Suicide Forest. Number 8. Akodesawa Fetish Market, Lomé, Togo. Interested in voodoo? This market is definitely for you. But be careful, in this culture they take it very seriously. Here, you'll be able to find hundreds of dried animal skulls and maybe even a human one if you're lucky. But if you're here to check out the rest of Lomé, their city isn't just a marketplace. Their architecture varies from old to new from corner to corner. Number 7. Capuchin Catacombs, Palermo, Italy. Only a friar could be buried in the catacombs in Italy in the 1800s, a monk, being mummified and preserved for your loved ones to come and visit you. But soon it turned into a popular thing. Soon it became a tourist type sensation and everyone was becoming mummified, women, men and even children. Up to 80,000 people were inside the Capuchin catacombs. In 1920, the last child to be mummified in the catacomb was Rosalia Lombardo, and is the most well-preserved mummy they have. Number 6. Museo de la Mamuas, Guanajuato, Mexico. Yes, the disclaimer was mainly about this title, as you can tell. I'll leave it on screen. Anyway, speaking of mummies, in Mexico there is a museum where they have over 100 mummies on display for people to view. During the time between the 1860s and the 1950s, there was a local tax in Mexico forced upon the people requiring relatives to pay a fee to keep their loved ones in their graves. If they could not pay this fee, the bodies of the lost relatives were removed from their graves. What a job it would have been. In these cases, a few of these bodies were actually mummified and these bodies were stored in a building. After 1958, a law was put in place to prohibit the removal of the bodies, but the original mummies are still on display. Number 5. The Museum of Death, Hollywood, California. The Museum of Death. Sounds gruesome, doesn't it? Well, it ought to, seeing as it has various full-size models of execution equipment, including the guillotine head of the French serial killer Henri Desire Landru. And that's not mentioning the various crime scene photos of the famous Black Dahlia murder and the Charles Manson murders. Number 4. The Mutter Museum, Philadelphia. The Mutter Museum is a medical museum in Philadelphia that has many interesting sights to be seen if your stomach can handle it, containing many preserved organs and body parts out on display for the viewer to examine and learn from. That's not all either. Other gruesome treasures of the human body are there for your viewing pleasure. Tissue samples, skeletons, fecal matter, and all the old school tools in which they would use to extract them. Number 3. Hoia Baciu Forest, Cluj-Napoca, Romania. Again, this is another one I've probably butchered, so please note what's on screen. This forest has been reported to be one of the most haunted forests in the world, nicknamed the Romanian Bermuda Triangle for the reason that there have been hundreds of reports of people going missing while in the forest. Also, many people have claimed to see UFO sightings there, so it's no wonder why many people travel there to try catch a glimpse of something paranormal. Number 2. Sedlec, Ossuary, Kutná, Hora, Czech Republic. How would you like to go to a church surrounded by over 70,000 real skeletons? Well, in this chapel you would be doing just that. The whole cathedral is decorated in human bones. They have a chandelier made completely out of an assortment of bones and skulls. In some archways, they are even decorated in nothing but skulls. So why the macabre design? During the Black Death, thousands were buried in the small cemetery, but during reconstruction, they had to dig up the graves, thus bringing the thousands of skeletons with nowhere to go. The half-blind monk living at the chapel at the time then decided what should be done with them, thus giving us one of the best, yet creepy, tourist destinations. Number 1. The Island of the Dolls, I'm not even going to try, Mexico. Hanging from the trees are lost and forgotten dolls, staring at people who pass by. Originally, the collector, a man named Julian Santana Barrera, would collect the dolls to appease a spirit of a dead girl he had found and keep away evil spirits. He also believed that the dolls would help bring a good harvest for his garden. He would often rearrange his dolls among the tree branches and would get many visitors to see them, even well-known political visitors. A cute idea for such a chilling view. After his death, the dolls remain in place and can still be seen by boat only. Anyway, if you enjoyed this week's list, leave a like. And if you want to see a similar list, click here for my top 10 haunted cemeteries. And if you missed last week's list, click here for my top 10 terrifying SCPs.